Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India successfully intercepts Pakistan missiles directed at Jammu. Blackouts from Punjab to Rajasthan also neutralizes air defense systems of Lahore in response to Pakistan's plan to target 15 cities. India's External Affairs Minister speaks to US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Italy's Deputy Prime Minister Antonio Tajani and EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas underlines India's targeted and measured response to cross-border terrorism. Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to chiefs of border guarding forces. BSF foils a major infiltration bid along international boundary in Samba district of J&K. India appeals to citizens not to believe in fake propaganda and rumours being spread by Pakistan against India. Bust fake news of attack on Gujarat's Hazira port, drone attack in Jalandhar and suicide attack in Pathankot and Rajouri. Robert Prevost becomes first American Pope and will be known as Pope Leo 14. The world leaders call it a historic moment for the Catholic Church and extend message of fraternity. And on to the top story. The Indian Defence Forces on Thursday night successfully neutralised missile and drone attacks by Pakistan targeting key areas in Jammu, Satwari, Samba, Pura and Arnia. Well, according to the defence sources, the attack was repelled with 0 casualties, showcasing India's robust defence preparedness and real-time operational readiness. Also, the India-Pakistan border became a hotbed of tensions as Pakistan launched a swarm of drones and missiles targeting civilian and military areas in India. Well, the Pakistani military action comes after India conducted precision strikes on terrorist camps in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as part of Operation Sindur, specifically clarifying that no Pakistani military infrastructure was targeted. And India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hailed Operation Sindur and congratulated Indian Armed Forces for their act of bravery against Pakistan. He also highlighted nation's strides in defence, research and quality advancement.
हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस ने जो कार्रवाई की है, जो शौर्य और पराक्रम दिखाया है, उसके लिए मैं हृदय से बधाई देता हूं। जिस प्रेसिजन के साथ यानी जिस सटीकता के साथ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर एग्जीक्यूट किया गया, वह अनइमेजिनेबल है, बहुत ही सराहनीय है। इसमें 9 टेररिस्ट कैंप्स तबाह हुए और अच्छी खासी संख्या में आतंकी मारे गए। जिस तरह से इस ऑपरेशन को किसी भी इनोसेंट को नुकसान पहुंचाए बिना मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ अंजाम दिया गया, वह इसलिए संभव हो पाया क्योंकि हमारे फॉर्मिडेबल एंड प्रोफेशनली ट्रेन्ड आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के पास इक्विपमेंट भी हाई क्वालिटी के थे।
Earlier, Dr. S. Jaishankar warned that India has no intention to escalate, but if attacked, it will be met with a very, very strong response.
Excellency, you are visiting India at a time when we are responding to a particularly barbaric terrorist attack on 22nd April in the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This attack compelled us to respond on 7th May by striking at cross-border terrorist infrastructure. Our response was targeted and measured. It is not our intention to escalate the situation. However, if there are military attacks on us, there should be no doubt that it will be met with a very, very firm response. As a neighbor and a close partner, it is important that you have a good understanding of the situation.
Well, Home Minister Amit Shah on Thursday night spoke to chiefs of the country's border guarding forces, including the BSF, that guards India's border with Pakistan. During the conversation, the Home Minister took stock of the situation along the international borders amid heightened tension between both the sides. Meanwhile, the Border Security Force foiled a major infiltration attempt along the international boundary in Samba district of Jammu and Kashmir on Thursday night. In a post on X, BSF Jammu wrote, at around 2300 hours on 8th of May 2025, BSF foiled a major infiltration bid at the international boundary in Samba district, Jammu and Kashmir. Well, amid escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, the Civil Aviation Ministry informed that 24 airports across northern India has suspended civilian operations until further notice. The Bureau of Civil Aviation Security banned entry of visitors to the terminal building of airports and also made a secondary ladder point checking compulsory for all flights as part of enhanced security arrangements. As part of stepping up security arrangements, also the agency has made secondary ladder point checking compulsory for all flights at all airports. Also ensuring 100% serviceability of all CCTVs at airports and deployment of in-flight security officers in flights based on prioritization or randomization are among the other directions. Well, a complete blackout put in force on Thursday night in several districts of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Rajasthan as precautionary measure amid the attack by Pakistan. Also, Jammu, Rajouri and Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir went dark as Pakistani missiles light up the skies. This comes as multiple loud explosions were heard in Jammu on Thursday as blackouts and sirens were activated across the region. A full blackout was also seen in Aknoor, Samba, Baramulla and Kupwara. Well, a blackout was also enforced in several districts of Punjab, including Pathankot, Amritsar, Jalandhar, Hoshiarpur, Mohali in Punjab and Union Territory of Chandigarh on Thursday evening. Also, with high alert has sounded in the border districts of Western Rajasthan, a blackout has been instituted in these areas as well. As a safeguard, a blackout was enforced from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. in Barmer and Jaisalmer owing to the presence of critical infrastructure there. In Jodhpur, a blackout is enforced from 12:30 a.m. to 4 a.m. Well, a complete blackout was seen yesterday late in the night in several districts of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Rajasthan as a precautionary measure amid the attack by Pakistan. In fact, Jammu, Rajouri and Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir went dark as Pakistani missiles lighted up the skies. And this came as multiple loud explosions were heard in Jammu on Thursday as blackouts and sirens were activated across the region. And for more updates, we have Akshay Dongre joining us from New Delhi. Well, Akshay, after Pak's misadventure has been foiled yesterday night and Indian Defence Forces successfully neutralized the missile and drone attacks by Pakistan. What is the latest update you have so far as of now?
Well, Lipakshi, a lot remains confidential as far as our operational capabilities and our operations are concerned. It's quite classified as far as successes of the Indian action against the misadventure that was carried out by Pakistan last night. But to see that a nuclear power attacking another country, another sovereign country, first through terrorism, and then when action is taken against terrorism, against something that you claim of fighting, you launch an attack across the border. In the name of retaliating is quite irresponsible, and as well as quite Pakistan stands quite exposed as far as its own commitments are concerned. Yesterday, the kind of reaction that we saw by coming in from Pakistan, attack on civilian areas, attack on religious sites, attack on schools, universities, everything that was of civilian infrastructure was targeted by Pakistan's army headed by General Munir. So it was thwarted, and now what we are seeing is India's counter attack capabilities being demonstrated in the same force. So what we are expecting right now is a theater level operation as far as Pakistan is concerned, terror targets are concerned, and this is going to continue. There were hopes that after action has been taken by India against terror camps, there will be de-escalation from Pakistani side, but Pakistan has not chosen that path. Pakistan has chosen the path of conflict with a much larger power, much larger economy. So there is hardly something that India can do, but to retaliate against it's in same proportionate manner that India has been claiming from the very beginning to do.
Absolutely, Akshay. Also, India, as we know, successfully intercepted Pakistan's missile and drone attacks. How significant is that?
Well, it's quite significant. In fact, the only capability that Pakistan had to attack India was through missiles, because the fighter jets or the aircraft that Pakistan has are quite obsolete, and Pakistan was aware that the way Indian aircraft entered its airspace or the airspace of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, it couldn't do because of India's much more superior air defense capabilities as well as much more superior air force. But the only way they had was to attack through missiles, but that also foiled, that also failed. Pakistan used some of its best technology as far as drone warfare is concerned, as well as aerial warfare through missiles, but everything was intercepted and everything was shot down. Is not only a slap in the face of Pakistan, but China as well, because China is the country that has provided Pakistan most of its armament and missile that it claims of using against India.
Absolutely. Also, Akshay, Dr. S. Jaishankar categorically stated that India has no intention to escalate, but if attacked, it will be met with a very, very strong response. Key diplomatic moves also by India yesterday.
Well, key diplomatic move included the top leadership of our country interacting, the foreign minister himself interacting first with the European Union and then with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. So that was to inform, not take permission, that the way India has been attacked, the way civilians are being targeted, India has the full right to respond with proportionate force. And India will do so as far as Pakistan's cowardly attack is concerned. But besides that, several friendly nations, several allied countries were contacted and were informed about India's decision, as India, as a responsible power, informed the world that the world failed to act against terrorism. India acted, and now that now that things are escalating, India will respond in a firm manner.
Also, Akshay, with 27 airports shut and diverted flights set to take longer routes now, what's the latest information you have on that front?
Well, no time has been issued in several of the airports, which means notice to the airmen. And as far as longer flights are concerned, yes, Pakistan has shut its airspace for Indian flights, and many of the airlines have themselves taken a decision to avoid Pakistani airspace, and this has started happening, in fact, 2 days back, which remains to continue. So you can expect millions of dollars of losses to Pakistan as far as its own airspace is concerned, which it usually uses for generating a lot of revenue, especially because countries like India are located next to it, and most of the planes that are coming in from the west have to cross its airspace, for which it charges money. So those losses are going to be another jolt to Pakistan's economies.
All right, Akshay, thank you so much for all those details. And meanwhile, on Thursday, India successfully foiled escalation attempts by Pakistan at multiple locations, going to the extent of destroying Lahore's air defense systems. Well, Pakistan's attempt to ratchet up its confrontation with India by targeting military installations using drones and missiles was successfully negated. The government also ordered Indian OTT platforms to stop streaming all songs, movies, series, podcasts made in Pakistan. Fuzail Ahmed reports for more.
Suffered another blow on Thursday. Its attempt to escalate tension with India by targeting military installations at multiple locations along India's western frontiers was successfully thwarted. In retaliation, its air defense system at Lahore was neutralized by India.
Today morning, Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan. It has been reliably learnt that an air defense system at Lahore has been neutralized.
India's Ministry of Defense in a statement said that on the intervening night of May 7 and 8, 2025, Pakistan attempted to engage a number of military targets in northern and western frontiers of India, including the sectors of Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Kapurthala, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Adampur, Bathinda, Chandigarh, Nal, Palhodi, Uttarlai, and Bhuj. These sectors were targeted using drones and missiles. These were intercepted and destroyed by India's integrated counter, UAS grid and air defense systems.
आज सुबह भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने पाकिस्तान के कई स्थानों पर वायु रक्षा रडार और प्रणालियों को निशाना बनाया। भारत की प्रतिक्रिया समान क्षेत्र में समान तीव्रता के साथ की गई।
Pakistan's reputation as the epicenter of global terrorism is rooted in a number of instances. Recently, Pakistan's army personnel were seen attending a funeral of a terrorist wrapped in Pakistani flag.
I pointed this out yesterday that this is a group that is a known front for the well-known Pakistan-based terrorist organization, Lashkar-e-Taiba. The group has been reported earlier. I mentioned to you about the Indian authorities providing information to the UN 1267 Sanctions Monitoring Committee. In fact, we are going to be meeting with the team again very soon, and we will be providing an update to the information that we have provided earlier.
In another decision, government also asked OTT platforms and media streaming platforms to discontinue Pakistani origin content, including web series, films, songs, podcasts, and other streaming media content. Attempted military action by Pakistan against India came a day after Indian armed forces carried out Operation Sindur at 4 terrorist camps in Pakistan and 5 in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Fuzail Ahmed reports for DD India.
Well, after India's retaliatory strikes, a seemingly nervous Pakistan has resorted to spreading fake news and misinformation in digital space. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check unit debunked a false claim of an attack on Gujarat's Hazira port by Pakistan. In a social media post, the fact-check unit of PIB clarified that this is an unrelated video confirmed to depict an oil tanker explosion. The video is dated on July 7th, 2021. It also urged people to not share this video. Also, the fact-check unit of the PIB has also clarified that claims on social media about a ban on entry to airports across India are false, adding that the Indian government has taken no such decision. Meanwhile, several airlines have issued travel advisories asking passengers to reach airports at least 3 hours before their flight due to enhanced security checks. Passengers are also being advised to carry valid government-approved photo ID cards. Also, another fake news is circulating about a Fidain attack on an army brigade at Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, Fact Check has also clarified that no such fidine or suicide attack has occurred on any army camp, urging people not to fall for these false claims intended to mislead and cause any sort of confusion. Also, PIB has fact-checked yet another piece of fake news, one that claims that the Indian military used Ambala Air Base to attack Amritsar and its own citizens. This claim is completely baseless and part of a concerted misinformation campaign. Well, also a letter is being shared on social media claiming that Chief of the Army Staff, General V.K. Narayan, has sent a confidential letter regarding military preparedness to the Army officer of the Northern Command. Fact Check has clarified that the letter is completely fake, adding General V.K. Narayan is not the Chief of Army Staff. Another misleading video is being widely circulated on social media claiming to show a missile attack launched by Pakistan on Indian territory. The government has stepped in to clarify that the video is completely unrelated and from a different part of the world altogether. According to PIB, the video being passed off as footage of a Pakistani missile strike is actually from the explosion that took place in Beirut in Lebanon in 2020. Another fake video is being circulated by Pakistani handles alleging that an Indian post was destroyed by the Pakistani army. Fact Check has clarified that the claim is completely false and the video is completely staged. Drone attack in Jalandhar. Also, this drone strike, a video from Jalandhar is widely circulating on social media. PIB Fact Check, this says this is an unrelated video of a farm fire. The video has the time 7:39 p.m. while the drone attack began much later. There's a request that we should not share this video and not circulate it anymore. And an IPL match between Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals was forced to be abandoned due to a significant technical failure in Dharamshala on Thursday. Due to a power outage in the area, one of the light towers at the HPCA stadium malfunctioned. Light towers were switched off and the crowd was asked to leave the stadium. The match was halted after 10.1 overs while PBKS was batting on Thursday and had lost their first wicket. And the Indian Premier League match between Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings on May 11th has been relocated from Dharamshala to Ahmedabad due to rising tensions between India and Pakistan. Several airports, including those in Dharamshala, Jammu and Chandigarh, have been shut, preventing Mumbai Indians from travelling to Dharamshala on Wednesday. This prompted efforts to move the fixture out of Himachal Pradesh. While Mumbai was initially considered as an alternative venue, Ahmedabad was ultimately chosen to avoid giving either team a home advantage. And in Indian Premier League, also Royal Challengers Bengaluru will take on Lucknow Super Giants at the Ekana Cricket Stadium on Friday. With 16 points from 11 games, RCB are sure shot to qualify for the finals. With the assurance of a spot with 2 matches remaining, both of which are at home, will give Rajat Patidar's men the necessary lift to go guns blazing for a top 2 finish. The only worry for RCB is their seasoned players are nursing injury. Their number 3 batter, Devdutt Padikkal, is out with hamstring injury. Fiery batter Phil Salt has missed the last 2 fixtures because of an illness, and Premier pacer Josh Hazlewood sat out of the win against Chennai Super Kings with shoulder trouble. For Lucknow, this is a do-or-die clash. It has just 10 points from 11 games and has lost 3 on the trot leading in to this contest. Also, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost on Thursday became the first ever Pope from the United States, a surprise selection by 133 cardinals from across the globe on the second day of the papal conclave in Rome. The 69-year-old from Chicago stepped into his role as the 267th Pope on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, addressing thousands of cheering Catholics with the words, Peace be with you all. Leo also thanked Francis in his speech and repeated his predecessor's call for a church that is engaged with the modern world and is always looking for peace, charity, and being close to people, especially those who are suffering.
Tutti voi.
Peace be with all you, beloved brothers and sisters. This is the first greeting of the risen Christ, the Good Shepherd, who gave his life for God's flock. I too would like this greeting of peace to enter your hearts, to reach your families, to all people, wherever they may be, to all peoples, to all the earth, peace be with you. We still keep in our ears that weak but always courageous voice of Pope Francis, who blessed Rome.
Ma sempre coraggiosa di Papa Francesco.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Well, let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.